Now, there are, needless to say, a huge variety of movies that take a lot of their inspiration from Conan, uh, especially that of Deathstalker. Okay, you could almost definitely say that about Deathstalker. There are a lot of movies that spawned in the wake of the Conan uh, franchise, you know. And even before Conan was a movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, it was a series of novels spanning back before I can even remember. I have a few of the books. They're great reads. Um, but there are honestly so many, you know. Um, Conan is probably the most popular barbarian in fantasy literature. Uh, and in fact, um, there were actually, at the very least, two D&D first edition modules published with Conan, where he is a statted character, and there's an adventure built around him, and you can actually take his statted character and put him in your own adventures in D&D, which is kind of cool. Red Sonja was also a character statted in D&D, and I don't know if I'll get to that movie or not during this review. Might be a good one to rewatch before I actually make a review on it, or well, talk about it at the very least. But yeah, Conan. Holy crap. where to where to start with Conan? Well, first one is of course Conan the Barbarian, which tells somewhat of the origin of Conan as Thulsa Doom raids his encampment as he is a child and pretty much just kills everybody, including his mom, and sends young Conan off to, well, in the movie, to push a wheel for like the next 20 fucking years. Like this big, huge wheel. Not too sure what it's for. Possibly like mining something. But yeah, he basically pushes this wheel around until he gets buff as shit. And is like an adult. And then he gets sold off to slave traders who train him in the art of killing for gladiatorial combat, mostly just like pit fighting, and that is where he learns the way of slaughtering his enemies and making love to the women. And eventually, his owner lets him go because he does such a good job at killing other people that his owner's nobody's betting on him, I believe it was. And so his owner lets him go, and he gets chased um, down by these hounds, I believe, and he falls into a pit and finds a statue of his god Crumb and a sword and kind of becomes somewhat of a thief and meets up with this uh, warrior woman and another thief, and in the midst of stealing from this particular place, they run into one of Thulsa Doom's ritual sacrifice chambers where there are people about to feed a woman to a giant snake, and Conan kills the fucking thing. And they're off to kill Thulsa Doom, and a whole mess of shit happens. Probably not accurately displaying the events as they happen. It's been a while since I watched the movies. I do own them, but like back in the day, I used to watch them all the time, and so kind of have that effect where you watch something so much, it's still awesome, but at the same time, it's like, maybe I'll watch it later, sort of thing. You get a little tired of watching something you've watched repeatedly as a child. It's kind of the same with me and Godzilla. I love the Godzilla franchise. I own like every single Godzilla movie ever made. But over the years, that kind of enthusiasm has died down a bit because I've just watched all the movies just repeatedly. You know, I used to run an entire marathon of Godzilla flicks. I can't even bring myself to do that anymore. That is just a huge time waster right there. But yeah, no. The first Conan movie is incredibly fucking awesome. I don't even know why I have to tell this to anybody. I don't know anybody who's never seen the first Conan movie. Maybe there are certain people who haven't seen the second one, though, which is Conan the Destroyer, which is not really liked in regards to being a sequel to the first film. Some won't even acknowledge it. I personally don't have a problem at all with the film. I enjoy it. It came on a dual pack when I got my Conan DVD set. And, it's one of the ones I grew up as a kid with. And, yeah, it's a bit more lighthearted than the first one, because the first one is pretty hardcore compared to the second one. The second one is very much a let's get a group of adventuring friends together and go on this quest sort of deal and fight the forces of evil sort of thing. Let's do it. And, the first one is, Thulsa Doom, killing people and hypnotizing them and making an occult and, talking about the power of flesh over steel and, beating the shit out of Arnold and tying him to a fucking tree, leaving him out there to die sort of thing. And, the second one has some betrayal in it, but there's never really a time where Conan isn't on top of things, really. He's got the situation very much handled for most of the movie, and most of his party is with him, right? Real quick, the plot to the second one is there's this virgin princess girl, and she's got to go out and seek this horn for her ceremony. It's some mystical horn she's got to get for this queen, who's the queen currently of this kingdom. And they tell Conan that if he helps them, she will bring his lover back to life. This is, of course, a huge lie. The horned god, as it were, is what this woman is trying to resurrect, and in order to do it, she is, unbeknownst to the virgin girl, going to sacrifice her, of course, once the virgin girl gives her this mystical horn, which they have to go and do a varying amount of tasks for, right? You know, they go out and they go to the wizard's castle, and they go out and they do some other stuff, and you know, it's very D&D-ish. But it's cool, you know, it's Conan, whatever. And so, the end of it, spoilers for a movie that's probably over about 20 years old by this point. I don't really know, and came out before I was born, so yeah, over 20. Can't recall the actual date. I don't have my computer on me at the time, so whatever, it doesn't matter. It's Conan, you know? It's all awesome. But yeah, the movie culminates in things going horribly wrong, and the Horn God gets rebirthed into the world as this demon thing. And I remember the first time I saw it, I was really young, and I thought that was the coolest shit ever, is seeing this demon just morph out of this statue when the horn was put on it, because the ceremony goes horribly wrong, and they don't sacrifice the virgin in enough time, and the evil witch's plans are all kind of going south, and so this statue in which the horn was placed on is now like melding into this horrible, like, demonic beast creature as this god is trying to be rebirthed into the world. And then here comes Conan with a sword to just hack the shit out of it. You know? He don't give no fucks. He's just, like, got this moment where he's just like, fucking bring it, you know? I always thought that was really cool. But yeah, the Conan series, always a great one to watch if you haven't seen it. And if you haven't seen it, I don't know why. What's wrong with you? You know? I don't really have much to say on the newer one. Yeah, not really much to say at all. So, there's that. Stick to watching the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. That's what I have to say on it. There you go. Till next time.